Temperatures have dipped into the 70s after Boston's third longest heat wave in history, 7 days. According to the Blue Hills Observatory, July 2016 ranks second in the most 90-plus degree days since they started keeping records. Although we are enjoying a break from the heat right now, temperatures are headed back up later in the week. Reporter Jeanette Orihal sat down with Dr. Chris Fischer at Somerville Hospital and brings us the story on staying healthy in the heat.
We do see an uptick of patients with a variety of illnesses during heat waves like this, and they're not always recognized as heat related, and a lot of it comes down to people getting dehydrated and not really recognizing it.
Every individual is different, and age plays an important factor in how heat affects each person.
There are some things that are similar and some things that are different between young people and old people when it comes to the heat. Both groups have less of an ability to compensate for the heat. For kids, it's because their physiology is still developing, and they're also not always able to verbalize when they're starting to feel overwhelmed or overheated. So with old people, it's some of those same things, but also some older people are on medications that can affect their ability to compensate, blood pressure medications, diuretics that can make you more prone to being dehydrated. Those are all things that can affect some people's ability to compensate for the heat.
With consecutive days being above 90 degrees, Fischer says their biggest concern is people's ability to compensate for the heat and cool themselves off. Long periods of high heat like we just experienced can make it harder for the body to compensate.
Heat exhaustion, put very simply, is when your body gets overheated. And some symptoms of heat exhaustion are things like muscle cramps, excessive sweating, dizziness, cool, clammy skin. And those are all part of how your body is trying to compensate for the heat. It's especially more common when people are dehydrated, and even more common when the temperature is over 90 degrees or the humidity is over 60%.
High humidity makes it more difficult for the body to sweat, which is what helps the body to cool itself. If you are experiencing heat exhaustion, Fischer recommends you get out of the sun immediately, cool yourself off with fans, drink sips of cool water, and pour cool water over your skin to help ease the symptoms of heat exhaustion. Heat stroke, however, is far more serious and can cause organ damage and has also caused death among people during heat waves.
Of heat stroke are if your skin goes from cool and clammy to hot and dry, or if you see somebody and they are excessively hot to the touch, or if they become very sleepy or even unconscious.
If you suspect someone is experiencing a heat stroke, get the person out of the sun and call 911 immediately. Planning ahead and keeping an eye on the forecast before heading out is the best way to protect yourself from heat-related problems.
Probably the most important thing is know your body, know what you can handle, and probably don't start a new exercise regimen during the middle of a heat wave. Know your environment, so keep an eye on the forecast and know what you're heading into when you're going outside, and prepare yourself as much as you can. Bring more water than you think you need, and plan your day so that you're not going to be out in the direct sun for a long time. Preparing yourself helps avoid a lot of problems in the end.
For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Jeanette Orihal.
When the temperatures rise, check the city website alert page for places to cool down and to find additional safety tips.